already March 2026, so time to dive into the latest pre-orders catalogs from Penguin and Lunar. This is Scott Reed. I'm joined this episode by
Mike Atchison.
And hey, I don't think we have any notes we want to talk about, so I think we should just dive right into the catalogs. You okay with that? All right,
sure.
Cool.
Why not?
Yeah,
of course.
That's what we're here to talk about, right? It's catalog. So let's jump.
Yeah.
Next phase, Lunar. Let's go. So I don't have anything until page 62. So
62.
62.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 3 things before 62.
Wow, that's impressive. All right.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Yeah. So we're gonna start under Abrams.
Okay.
On page at the very beginning, page 4.
4.
And it's Marvel's the novelization.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's being the well, I don't know who it was. Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross,
Right.
who did the original. And this adaptation is written by Steve Darnell, and it's got an Alex Ross cover. I've got the Marvels. I've got probably 3 different versions of it, and have yet to read it. And this will make my 4th probably version of the Marvels. So we have to cover this at some point.
Okay.
On Campus Comics Cast to make me read it. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, it's just it's a novelization. Not all novelizations work out so well, but still, it's nice to have something like that on your bookshelf if you're like me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of reading novelizations of comics, or it's like it's like reading the novelization of a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. They tend to be subpar. I know sometimes, like in Star Wars, you get little nuggets that you didn't get from the movie. But for the most part, I just kind of skip these types of things.
I would agree. Normally, it's the other way around. Something can be developed from a novel into a movie or some other media, comic book. Even Stephen King's The Dark Tower series, I loved it. I read all the books, but the comic versions, they were hit and miss. But I just don't know that they had the cohesion of at least the first 4 of those novels.
Right. All right, what do you got next?
I've got Archie's TV Laugh Out number 79, and that is on page 27, and it's mostly because it's facsimile edition, obviously, because it's originally came out in, I don't know what it says here somewhere, in 1980, and it's got a Jaws-inspired cover. And what I really caught my attention was the variant cover C, with a sort of an homage to the Jaws movie poster.
Right.
And
Veronica.
I don't know. Yeah, Veronica's playing the part of the woman swimming at the surface, and the shark Jaws is coming up after her. I thought that's pretty darn cool. I like that cover. I'm not so sure I'll get it, but the other thing was, I thought, I wonder if there's a volleyball game going on in this book at all. So.
Well, it's a facsimile, so I'd have to get the original. We'll be talking about volleyball here in a little bit. So.
Okay, all right. I got one more before you. I think, according to what you said, your first page number. I've got. Okay, so the Protopius Collection trade paperback. Now, I'm mentioning this. It's $25. It's 344 pages. I'm mentioning this because even though we've talked about the one-shots, I think, every episode for the last few months, but I've only bought one. I bought Polis. Okay. And I'm like, I'm looking at some of these covers, looking at the interior art, and I'm thinking, this is something I need to go ahead and get as a collection. So of these things, these first 3 things I mentioned, this is my most for sure buy.
Okay. Well, not to poo-poo your purchase of this.
Scott, this wouldn't be a podcast with you if you didn't poo-poo something.
But honestly, these stories are not cohesive, and that kind of bothers me. So it's a future vision, but like every single issue has its own future vision. So they just don't really fit together. So it's almost just like a bunch of anthology stories. That kind of bothered me. I would have liked to have had something that tied all those stories together.
Something minor, even some through line.
Just something small that And if there was, I missed it. So I was not. I mean, they were fine. The stories are good, but overall, I was disappointed because of that lack of continuity or cohesion between them. So.
Yeah. Well, and another sort of almost anthology comic. It's a monthly comic called Assorted Crisis Events by Dennis Camp. Mm-hmm. It does have a through line. You've got a central sort of character to, I think. So I get what you're saying. I'll probably still get it. The art alone is just kind of wowing me.
I
But
said it was a decent read, but they can be read, kind of as islands,
sure,
So, which was kind of I just was expecting a little bit more out of them. I
right,
guess is what I'm trying to say. So,
gotcha.
all right. Anything else before 62?
No,
Actually, that's the page before, isn't it? With the after the art preview. So,
yeah, right, yeah.
all right. I hate to talk too much about Bad Idea, but I guess I'm going to do it. So we got page 62. We have Megalith, the Olympus saga. Now I'm talking about this because it's Matt Kent. Art by Louis LaRosa. So it's supposed to be really, really good art. The thing is, they talk about it being 8 years in the making. It's like, yeah, I can understand that because I don't remember how long ago it was I signed up for this Kickstarter to actually get the
Oh my
hardcover
gosh,
of
you're kidding me.
Megalith. Now I don't remember it being 8 years ago, but it's been going on for a while, so I'm not for sure where they are getting the 8 years from exactly. But I've been waiting on this for a little while, so
Well, my thought is, are they bragging or complaining or just stating the fact when they say 8 years in the making?
I
Because
yeah
I don't know that they should be bragging on that.
yeah I don't either, because basically the holdup has been the Louis LaRosa art. They've been waiting for him to finish pages, so it's I just don't know. It's been talked about for a while. I drank the Kool-Aid and ordered the Kickstarter, however long ago that was. So I will be getting that. The version that I ordered is supposed to have some Louis LaRosa sketch included inside of it. So, and you can kind of see some of his artwork on the next few pages. One of the things that kind of bothered me was that they are doing a collect all 30 original art editions to earn your copy. Oh, let's see. So I guess there's a way to get like the original art with like some of these purchases. But yeah, limited to 36 pieces. This is on page 74, and you can buy a version that apparently comes with one of the original art pages. I thought they were doing that with the Kickstarter, but apparently not. It's interesting, though, that there are 36 of these, and the story is only 32 pages. So I wonder where the other 4 come from.
Well, the art in the sampling looks pretty detailed, pretty
Yeah.
rich, but I have to say, Bad Idea. They are the kings of gimmicks.
Yes.
So on page 73, you've got the big gimmick in all these variant versions is that there's a cover that has traveled 100 million light years from deep space into your
Yes.
collection because
It's a
got
meteor.
some piece of a meteorite in it. It's actually pointing to the letterhead, the title of it. I'm thinking, it even says, hold a magnet to the surface and watch as the metallic fragments surge forward. Well, okay. I'd love
ruin
to
your
believe you.
book.
That's really, yeah. But also, I'm like, okay, it could be any metal. You could be just telling us that.
Yeah.
A magnet's going to, any non-ferrous or whatever it is. Yeah. So there you go. I just had to say that about, and although, I mean, I probably will get this as well because it's Matt Kent and it looks like good art. So it's probably worth it.
I'm on 89 now. So keeping
Okay.
with a Bad Idea, we have Warbird, issue 0. This is written by Derek Kolstad and Robert Vendetti, art by Jesse Lonergan. Has a Frank Quitely cover, which is probably the most interesting thing about the story. But the premise that I get from this is it's Repo Man meets Firefox. You remember the old Clint Eastwood movie where he goes into Russia and steals a plane? Do you remember that movie?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's right. Just saying that, I have not seen that since the 80s.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time since I've actually watched it. But that's kind of what this is he's a guy who apparently some technology's been stolen. He has to go get it back, and it mentions Russia. And apparently there's a warbird. So also with this one, for once, Bad Idea is doing something kind of nice. You can get 25 copies of this Warbird Zero for $7.50, which is about $30 an issue if you want to buy it kind of in bulk. So its regular price is $1.99. So that's kind of nice. And then they kind of have a
Yeah.
nice little our interview with Robert Venditti about kind of going into the details. So one of the things I do is when I sell on eBay is I usually like throw in a free comic book day book in with things that I sell. So I may buy a bundle of these just to have those to throw in or pass out at
Sure.
Halloween, come
Yeah.
October. So
Well, I like the idea of a repo man.
hmm
I've had to do that once in my life, believe it or not. I had to
oh
go repo a car because I was in charge of a credit union, and I was the guy that had to
ah
go. Yeah, it wasn't fun, especially cleaning the dang thing up. It was a mess. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, Vendetti's a great writer. I really
hmm
like his stuff. And Frank Quitely cover. I don't know Jesse Lonergan.
yeah.
I don't know the artist on the interiors, but this I had this down to pick up as well.
Okay, good deal. All right. Well, I'm on to DC. So if you have anything before 132, it's all
No, I do
you.
not.
All right. Do you have 132?
Nope, I
No.
don't.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about 132. So I haven't really talked a whole lot about Absolute Batman because we reviewed him, and I wasn't a fan. So I'm apparently in the
You're
vast
in the big
minority
minority.
of people here. But in issue 20, they imply that there was apparently a major death in issue 19. So much so that the cover is redacted, right? So we don't know who it is that dies. So I guess I'm only mentioning this to say if you happen to be at a shop and you see issue 19, might be worth picking up. Now I think most people are on to the whole Absolute Batman, and it's one of those books that sold more the first as it's kind of moved along for a while. But who knows? So anyway, just throwing that out there, just in case.
Well, I mean, the big R on the cover. Surely that's a hint.
Well, the R is probably because it mentions in the solicit that as the dust settles on the city of Gotham after the loss of Redacted,
Redacted. So that's what the
Robins
R.
enter the scene, ready to hunt
Uh,
and more. So, I
okay.
haven't been reading it, so I don't know if
No, I've
Robin's
only
even
bought the
been
first issue
introduced.
or two.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
even know if Robin's been introduced. As far as I know, he hasn't. So,
Yeah. Now we've. Did we read the first 5 issues
no, we only read the first issue. We did the six
of
titles
6 titles? Just the first
for,
issue. Yeah.
of the
Okay.
Absolute Universe. So,
I'd like to get back to that sometime. All those absolute titles and just keep read through them, but
yeah.
it'd have to be on the app because I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
been buying them.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm not dropping 50 to $100 on Absolute Batman #1.
No, no.
133, Absolute Catwoman is getting her own title. Of course, she showed up in Absolute Batman. I can't remember what issue number. So
Hmm.
Selena Kyle gets her own Absolute title.
Yep.
135.
Yeah, I've got that.
Okay, you go ahead.
This is an interesting one, and I've been
hmm
hearing a little bit more about. Okay, so it's the introduction of Absolute Green Arrow. I think they'll also introduce the Absolute Black Canary.
hmm
But what's happening is there's a serial killer slaughtering corrupt billionaires, and the only clue to who the serial killer is the mysterious green arrows sticking out of the corpses. Which, oh gosh, that seems a little bit of a red herring, but
hmm
yeah, everything. It's by Pornsak Pishin
hmm
Pishichot.
You said that
Uh,
quite easily.
I've I've read it. He's done some stuff.
Yes, because every time we
Yeah,
mention his name, we have to make fun of it. So
yeah,
yeah,
right. Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
And then yeah, we're 12.
hmm
But and then Raphael Albuquerque's art, and wow, if he stays on it, I that'll be impressive. But I am more. I'm kind of Green Arrow is one of my favorite DC characters, and it feels like he's been watered down for several years, and I'm ready to see something pretty hardcore. And this looks like it could be it.
More longbow hunters type Green Arrow, huh?
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, I don't know because he's a. I mean, in some continuities, he's a billionaire himself,
hmm
or he was. So it's be interesting to see how this plays out. So I'm definitely gonna get a. I might get a couple copies of this.
Well, I think you were right on the red herring thing. I think it's still going to be Oliver Queen because you notice that it says in the solicit for this title. Let me find it here. Oh,
It
where
says
is
Oliver Queen was murdered.
it? It says yeah, but unique. all familiar DC archers uniquely linked to a recently murdered Oliver Queen, but the question is, was Oliver Queen actually murdered? So I think that it's still going to be Oliver Queen. It's just going to be he's faked his death or faked his murder to do whatever, So I think I am probably wrong, but if I was a betting person, that's what I would bet on.
That's probably a good bet, yeah.
So, now, to me, the real question for the absolute line is how long is DC going to go before they have to have the giant crossover that they think everybody's demanding and nobody actually wants? Plus they're getting to the point now where they're oversaturating the number of titles in the Absolute Universe. It kind of feels like, we've talked about this before, like with X-Men, whatever. X-Men kind of had its reboot after Hickman, after, was it House of X and Powers of X, or Powers of 10? Like, that was a chance, like I thought, they'll have 2 titles, and I might start picking that up. But no, they had 4 titles, and then 4 new titles the next month. It's like, I'm not jumping on for 8 books. And now, when it was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, you could almost justify, well, if it's just those 3 titles, I'll pick those up. But then it very quickly went to 6, and now we've got more added on top of that. So, I don't know. How much time do you give the Absolute Universe, Mike, before it crumbles?
Probably not as long. Not too long. Well, first of all, it's the Absolute Universe is a universe designed after Darkseid, which is already melding into DCKO,
KO, right?
All that stuff. So I know it's already planning. They're planning on having it. I think it just depends on how much. I don't know. I don't want it to. I'm like you. I'd rather it be its own thing. But then again, for a while, you're like, well, if you're so successful with the Absolutes, why put out anything but the Absolutes?
Exactly.
And so they're gonna have to like keep reinventing themselves and these characters.
And at some point, people will get tired with the Absolutes, and they're going to want something new. I mean, Marvel's dealt with this with their whole Ultimate Universe several times over already.
And it goes to the argument that we like having different versions of characters, but we like them to have their own little cubbyhole. It's like that's what led to the multiverse with DC back in the 60s. It was cool to see Jay Garrick meet Barry Allen, but you didn't want him there every month.
No.
So then it led into the annual get together with the JSA and JLA. And then, and then we started bringing in, of course, back then it was a slow roll. It wasn't like what you're like force-fed so much so fast these days.
Well, DC and pre-Marvel weren't putting out 50 titles a month, at that time. Yeah. So it was much more manageable.
I'd rather this be such a really slow roll if they're going to do. To this day, Shazam, Captain Marvel and the Shazam family don't belong on the same Earth as the Justice League. They have a more. You think of we're getting off topic.
No, that's fine. I posed the question. So.
Yeah, I mean, but you think about the stories from the Golden Age on forward were very fanciful. They were silly almost, but in such an endearing way. They didn't fit in with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman, which was more like quote-unquote realistic superheroes. So it's cool to have them maybe cross over, but look, you need to have them on their own Earth so they can have their own adventures and not have the Jeff Johns version of the Shazam family that is turned into something more realistic. That's my opinion. But
the smart move, in my opinion, is to never have them cross over. But DC or executives at, Warner Brothers / now, Paramount is going to own them, are going to say money. Money. Yeah. That's what we want. So it's not going to last.
Well, I agree with all that, except the novelty of a crossover is very compelling. A crossover, as long as they don't overdo it. But that's the thing. They'll overdo it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't trust them with it. So
it's like, I can't give you this story.
And you couldn't trust Marvel with it either. I mean, Marvel is a perfect example of this. So it's just a mess.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Anything before 141?
No, I got 142.
Okay, I have 142 as well, but I'll give you the first
Oh,
dibs on 142. Okay, so
okay.
141, Absolute Martian Manhunter number 12. Is this the final issue of this series?
Oh, it says so. Yeah, I didn't
It does
notice
it
that.
say so? It talks
It
about
says at the very
beginnings and
top.
endings.
It says the
Oh,
jaw-dropping
it
final
does.
issue at the very top. Yep.
I
You scrolled
missed
too
that.
fast.
Yep, I missed that. So, all right. So, final issue of Absolute Martian Manhunter. That was one of the few Absolute titles that if I were going to read, this is one of them that I think I would have picked up just because it was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so final issue, Absolute Martian Manhunter. All right, 143, Mike.
143. You thought you had the market cornered on Snark. I'm snarkily saying, oh my God. Okay, Hush 2 is. I mean, this is not the epic, long-awaited conclusion of the entire thing. It's just Hush 2 Part 1
Mm-hmm.
chapter. So it's only 6 issues. How it feels like it's been going on for a year and a half. And
It
I've read
has
the
been.
first. Yeah, I read the first issue, I think, and then it was coming out so slowly.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I'm just gonna wait till they all get together. It
Yeah.
just is worn me out, and it's frustrating, and you know,
The worst part is that it's not even solicited in this issue. This is an
no, this is just
ad
coming soon.
that is
Yeah,
going to be being released soon. Okay, we have already had this in this issue. We get Batman number 9 of the Sadarsky run, which is the volume after this Batman Hush run.
yeah,
So since I think the last issue we've had is 162, so it's been months, and like 162 and issue 1, I think, of Batman came out at the same time. So now we're,
it's like they're overlapping
yeah, well, they're big time
volumes.
overlapping.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, they have two different volumes running at the same time of the same title. So yeah, this was a fiasco. They should have had Jim Lee get more of this art in the can before they
yes,
release this story. Release it as a limited series, not put it in the regular title. So yeah,
absolutely agree.
big mess up there. So just comply. My note is that this is insane.
Good comment.
Yeah,
I got 143. Do you?
I do as well, but I'm going to give you
Well, go
this one
ahead.
also. No, you sure?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All
Yeah,
right.
please.
So we got Barbara Gordon breakout number 1. All right. So Babs gets arrested for assisting the Bat family, and she gets sent to prison. All right. So that's an interesting premise. Now they did this with Daredevil on the Marvel side, so it's not like it's the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
But my question is, I actually have several questions about this series. Is one, is she arrested as Batgirl or as Barbara? I assume she's going to be arrested as Barbara Gordon, having directly assisted the Bat family, not as Batgirl assisting the Bat family. So that way she can
Yeah.
maintain her secret identity. Okay.
Yep.
What do you think on that question?
No, I mean I agree. I mean, and the clue, if the artwork on this solicitation is accurate, I mean she's in orange,
Mm-hmm.
which is I like that better than seeing someone in costume in handcuffs or in a jail cell
Yeah.
or a prison cell. That always drives me crazy.
Okay.
And so yeah, I think it'll be Barbara,
Okay.
and because she's her alter ego as Barbara
Mm-hmm.
is many times Oracle, and that's definitely she's an intelligence operative for the Bat
Mm-hmm.
family. One thing I have to counter here is like, look, DC writers, you don't send someone straight to Supermax. I mean, unless they got superpowers.
Right.
But I guess maybe you can argue but they don't know she's Batgirl though.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I don't think so. Yeah.
And
But it's all,
realistically, Bruce Wayne is going to have her out of prison in 24 hours.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
yeah, I don't. So I'm thinking there has to be some undercover reason that she's going to stay in prison, as opposed to Bruce just breaks her out.
could be.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah. I mean, Vandal Savage is the big bad in this, and he's
Mm-hmm.
got Poison Ivy. I think we see later on in the book or somewhere I've read where Poison Ivy is the mayor of
Mm-hmm.
Gotham in this story, and so yeah. Wait, yeah. Vandal Savage is the commissioner. She's
Yep.
the mayor. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So
Um,
we'll see.
So I forgot to mention back on Absolute Green Arrow, Michael Cathro also recommended Absolute Green Arrow, and
Yeah.
then he wanted to comment on what's up on the next page, which is Zatanna number 2 on page 145. the which one of the covers, one of the variant covers, the Z jamming on a banjo in the upper left hand corner. So
Oh my gosh, I
yeah.
didn't even notice that. Yeah, that's not a something you. Now it's by Jamal Campbell. He had the miniseries recently, and he was successful enough that they're making it ongoing. He's got, I think, great art. I can't say that the story he wrote in that miniseries was knock my socks off, but I think there's room to grow.
Yeah.
So
I'm on 148.
I'm not till 153.
Okay, so here's Snark. We need an editor, right? Because Batman 9, who's on the cover with Bruce Wayne and Batman,
Oh yeah. At
Batgirl,
least
Barb
at least
Gordon.
put
Yeah,
at least put an editor's note somewhere in here saying this occurs
yeah,
before
before
Barbara Gordon.
events
Yeah.
in, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
please do that.
yeah, come on. It's like we had that problem at Marvel with Black Panther. One title said he was dead, one title he was with the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's just like, make up your mind here. I mean,
Yeah.
what is going on? So,
You could do that back in the 60s and nobody cared. The comic publishers, the big two at least, really kind of spoiled us on this inter-company continuity. At least
mhm,
the editors would talk to one another saying, hey, you can't do this because I'm doing this with her
right.
or him. So
Hmm.
that's all they got to do.
Yeah. So, and that's what editors are for. They should be having these conversations so that makes sense. But I guess they
Yeah.
assume that the readers don't care about that or
Yep.
won't make snarky comments about it on a podcast.
Right there on that same page, or right after that,
Hmm.
is Poison Ivy number 44 by G. Willow Wilson, and it talks about her being the mayor. So this is in regular continuity. This
Okay.
Barbara Gordon being arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I figured it was. It's just,
Yeah, I wasn't
it,
even sure. I
yeah.
just in my mind I felt like a mini series, and so
I'm on 152.
153.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Mike. So I need you to
All
come
right.
back to page 152 for
Okay.
JSA 19. All right, who is this character on the cover of this book? That's my only comment.
That's the Brainiac Queen. She was I say she. It's a machine,
Oh, okay.
but a female form. Brainiac Queen is the I don't know the history except she was involved in she was like helped out Amanda Waller in
Okay.
Absolute Evil or what, not Absolute Evil, whatever
Uh,
that was.
yeah, I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah. She was, yeah, that little crossover event
Okay.
deal. She was a part of that, but I don't feel like there was a lot of depth given to the character, and maybe
Okay.
they'll explore that in this issue.
Okay. All right. I was just curious. I do also like the negative space for the Spectre's, cowl there. That's kind of cool. So.
Oh wait, are you talking about Justice League Unlimited?
No, I'm talking about JSA.
Dude, okay. Boy, I really feel silly now.
Oh,
I
okay.
was looking at the top half of that
See,
page.
that's how much I didn't know because I just assumed that that's who that was.
Oh no,
So.
that's not Brand. No, that is Kid Eternity. The
Oh,
new
okay. The
Kid
new
Eternity.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And her powers are a little different than the original, I think. And she appeared in that whole Golden Age, the new Golden Age story, I think. And gosh, it's a pretty good take. I've been reading the Jeff Lemire. I'm way behind, but I was reading the Jeff Lemire JSA, and it's really good.
Oh,
It feels like the JSA. So
okay.
yeah, that's Kid Eternity.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Well, I've answered that question twice and got it right once. So
There you go. Hey, that's all right. Hey, even a stock clock is right twice a day. So,
there you go.
Uh,
153.
okay.
This is DC. Is that a DCX Sonic or DC crossover?
Yeah,
or DC?
DCX.
Yeah.
They're doing this at like several different companies. Like they did that with like Harley X Elvira. You remember that
Yeah,
crossover book that was at
yeah,
Dynamite?
yeah.
So.
It's just a new way of saying crossover
Mhm.
with. Well, it's DC and Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's the Metal Legion. Now I know there have been previous crossovers with Sonic the Hedgehog. I would never get this for myself,
No.
but my nephew is 4, and the kid lives and breathes Sonic the Hedgehog and all those characters. So I'm thinking I might get him this. Although I don't know, he could tear up. I gave him some Ninja Turtle toys, and
Uh
I swear he disassembled them. And
huh.
I don't know what he would do to a comic.
Right. I would tell you just find like some trades of the Archie stuff and get him that
There you go.
instead.
Yeah,
If he's just about Sonic, so
yeah.
I'm on 163.
I've got 160, which is Tales of the Green Lantern Corps, Guy Gardner, written by Jerry Duggan, and Matteo Lolli is the artist. And I don't know much about it except I'm thinking, okay, this might be part of the new All In phase, one of the newest phase of that. And it's I've not been really impressed with the latest, even though Jeremy Adams is a great writer. The Tales of the Green Lantern Corps book hasn't been as good,
Okay.
and I don't know. I might be willing to pick this up. I don't know if it's a limited series, but maybe I'd give this Guy Gardner book a shot.
Okay. Still on 163.
Yeah.
Okay. This
You?
is just a
Yeah, I'm good.
reminder to order
Oh
Swamp
yeah, right.
Thing 1989 issue number 2. Looks like we only got one
163.
cover this time too, as well. So
Yeah, yeah. I did make sure I have that in
okay.
my League of Comic Geeks. Last time we talked, I was flipping out and going, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to order it." I did verify I have Dork.
Oh, you do have Dork, the
I
first
have
issue.
Dork. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay. Well,
got it.
good for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
I got. I actually ordered 4 copies of it, and I actually got them. So yeah,
Oh,
we'll
cool.
be putting those up for sale soon.
Yeah, it's hot right now. And there was
Yeah.
that hippopotamus something
Yeah,
swamp.
I was going to talk about that when we got into what was that? It wasn't Image. It was Mad Cave.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
we can wait. Yeah, yeah.
So
Let's see. I'm at 164.
164. Okay, go ahead.
No, wait. Oh
Talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
Saga of
Oh
Swamp
yeah,
Thing
okay, yeah.
21
Okay,
facsimile.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So Scott, I was in a swamp thing, man thing, heap mode recently. You
Mm-hmm.
probably know why. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dang, do I have a full run of the original Swamp Thing series? I did not,
Ah,
and I was missing issue 2. Well, I bought that. Then I
okay.
thought, well, how many of the second volume do I have? From like issue 1 all the way up into the 80s, I was only missing Swamp Thing number 21. So I
Wow.
just
Okay.
got that a couple weeks
Okay.
ago, and this is the facsimile to it, which no, I wanted the
You
original
want the
anyway. But
original?
this is the famous anatomy lesson. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, folks, this is worth getting for the story alone. For $3.99, this is a really good book. You're not going to get it for $3.99. I think I paid
No.
$40 for it
Yeah.
on some, online. Um, it's worth getting this, even though it's in the last 40 years and not something from the golden age. Definitely worth getting.
Yeah. If you got that, then you have the first John
John
Constantine too in
Constantine, yeah.
37. Yeah. So
hmm
that's another good book in that run. So to have in your
I, you
collection.
know, it's crazy. I used to have all of them anyway, and I sold them to Dennis at Campus Comics back in the late i'd to be able to afford an engagement ring, being the romantic that I am. And I've recovered all of
Sucker.
them. Yeah, I've recovered them all though.
Well, good. So, all right. So I'm gonna spoil some of your next episode announcement here on page 165. We've got Bleeding Hearts 4, and then on 160. Actually, it's 166. We got the Peril of the Brutal Dark and Ezra Cain Mystery number 4, and then End of Life number 4 on the next episode of the Campus Comics Cast. We'll be reviewing those 3 issues. So the
That's
new
right.
Vertigo titles. We'd opted out of the Nice House by the Sea since it was issue like what 6 at that point.
Yeah, it's picking up in the middle.
Yeah. So, but we're gonna talk about those 3 books, their first issues.
Yes, we will.
So I'm done with
Uh,
DC. So whatever you have left in DC, it's all you.
I've got a few things on 168. I've got the facsimile edition of Justice League of America number 75. It's when Green or Black Canary joins the Justice League,
Hmm.
and I want to say this is maybe the same issue that they moved their headquarters from the cave in Happy Harbor to the satellite. And I'm a big satellite
Right.
Justice League fan, so I'm not 100% sure. I may have to look that up, but yeah, this is kind of a at this point, Wonder Woman was in her just white
pantsuit
phase, and Denny
depowered.
O'Neil was
Yeah.
depowered and stuff, and they basically replaced the one female character on the team with Black Canary, who came
Okay.
over from Earth 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
I used to have that original. I don't think I do anymore. So.
yeah, yeah. 169. I've got this original too, and I looked it up, and buddy, you can't get this for very cheap anymore either. It's the really famous cover of Batman 244 by Denny O'Neil, Elliot Maga, Neil Adams cover, uh, art on the inside by Neil Adams and Irv Novick.
Hmm.
It's where Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul out in the desert has defeated the
Hmm.
shirtless Batman. So he's got his cowl on and
Hmm.
his typical Neil Adams hairy chest Batman,
Yeah.
and of course Ra's al Ghul. He's pretty fit for an older guy,
Hmm.
He's got his shirt off too, so you can tell it's the '70s, man. This is like straight up '70s stuff. And lastly, on 176, I've got what do we have here? Hmm. Oh, it's the Elseworlds Justice League Omnibus. I'm not going to spend $150 on this,
Hmm.
but if I had an extra $150 laying around, I would.
You would, yeah.
It's just a collection of Elseworlds Justice League stories. Everything from Commandy at Earth's End, the Golden Age 1 through 4, Justice League International Annual. Uh, it goes on, and it kind of like caps it all off with another Kingdom Come,
Okay.
reprint of it. So I don't know. It seems like all those fanciful Elseworld stories all in one omnibus would be pretty cool. But just a matter of note, not that I'm definitely going to get it unless you float me alone.
I'll do you a
That's it for
favor and
me.
not float you alone. So.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So I'm on 239 is the first thing that I have.
Well, you're one page in front of me.
One page. Oh, okay. So trying to figure out what. Well, we must
Oh,
be.
you
We were
okay? It's
talking
the
the
same
same
one.
thing. So
You go ahead then.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
insist. You go ahead.
Oh, well, the only reason I marked it down is because Aladdin #1. This is in Dynamite.
Hmm.
Aladdin #1, and I usually get the first issue of these Disney comics, these Disney movie comics for my granddaughter or one of my granddaughters, and see if they like it. And if they do, I keep getting them, and if not, then I don't. But
Hmm.
I might get this. Looks like something an 11-year-old might like. Got a little love story going on. They're in Welcome to Agrabah. It's actually Aladdin of all those Disney movies. It's my favorite.
Ah, yeah.
Yep. I mean, mostly because Robin Williams playing the genie. I
Yeah.
mean, you just
Yeah.
can't beat that.
Well, I have down two. No, I'm on 248 then.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
Okay.
up
So
in the 300s now.
all right. So 248 we have Ben 10, which is a popular cartoon from the Cartoon Network. Now I think we've had some Ben 10 comics in the past. But here we have a new #1. This is possibly the first time it's been at Dynamite, and they got a few preview pages of the art, so it doesn't look terrible. It does not look like the cartoon, but doesn't look bad. Now it's not something I'm going to order, but like I said, a lot of people this is in their wheelhouse age wise. If they grew up with this cartoon, then this is something that they might want to pick up. So,
Right.
you said you're on 300 something.
336 actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I've got one more thing before you then on 271. Now this is I'm not actually mentioning this for the comic book, but we have Archie X Armory of Darkness. Of course, you got the Army of Darkness, which features Bruce Campbell, who just announced. I saw the announcement on Facebook that he has cancer, and he describes it as being
Mm,
uncurable but treatable.
mm,
So he is having to make a pretty substantial decrease in his convention appearances and such
mm.
as he is battling cancer. And I did, verify. I saw some links on Variety and stuff that was not just some scam post. So,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
prayers and thoughts to Bruce Campbell for
Yeah, definitely.
as he deals with cancer. So he's a very popular guy, from Army of Darkness and
Sure is,
several other movies. So all right, so I'm on 349.
Okay, real quick, it's under Hermes Press, and this is it's a reference book with a lot of reprint material in it. It's called Golden Age Comics from the Old Fans Attic, Prizes, Warriors, and Kids. And I was trying to figure out how much was, narrative or not narrative, but like, historical information and how much was just plain old reprints. But I had to go down to page, I think after about 3 pages on page 230 or 339, they have a reprint from National Comics of Quicksilver. And I want you to look at that and tell me, who does that character look like to you from DC?
Blue Beetle?
No.
No?
He was a speedster. Quicksilver, but he had a new name in the 90s under Mark Waid.
I'm blanking on the name. I know who you're talking about.
Yep.
But I'm blanking on the name.
Well, Mark Waid couldn't use the name Quicksilver because for obvious reasons. Marvel had that, yeah. But he gave him the name Max Mercury.
Okay.
So he integrated him, basically a public domain character, into DC, or maybe it's just quality character. Maybe since it was National Comics, maybe DC owned the character anyway. I don't know, but they couldn't use Quicksilver, so yeah, that caught my eye. I love those little nuggets from the Golden Age.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the stories can get rough, as we've known, we've seen in the past, but
as like on a couple pages down with Daredevil.
Yeah, right, with his boomerang.
With his boomerang.
The guy can do anything with a boomerang, and dude, don't get too close to him with that spiked belt because you're going to get stabbed.
No huggy.
No huggy. Oh, man. Yep. So, anyway, that's it until 349.
All right. So 349. I had this one down too. I'll let you take this one, Mike.
Oh gosh. Shoot. Oh, if Destruction Be Our Lot by Matthew Rosenberg, Andy McDonald. There's more than that. More creators. I always feel like we give short shrift to creators just because we're not reading it all, but it's basically the premise is in this first issue. From Image, by the way, is humanity's extinct and all that remains are the robots who once helped us. They have, some of them have an addiction to electricity, which I thought was funny. And I guess if anything, robots could get addicted to that. But they're happy doing their jobs in peace, but not an animatronic Abraham Lincoln. He just wants a friend. Dude, I thought I love the way that was presented.
Yeah.
And it may not be a great story at all, but the way they sold me on it with that solicit.
It's just one of those things where it's got this is a phrase I'm going to throw out. It's kind of got its own unique view of a created universe, right? And it's something that people can, kind of dive into further. So,
yeah.
I don't know because it's Matthew Rosenberg and Mark Elijah Rosenberg. I don't know if they're related, brothers.
Shoot.
What? Yeah.
Could be father, son. Could be brothers.
Who knows? Yeah. I don't know. So, I'm on 356.
Just a quick stopover at 353 for Lady Mechanica. It's or 354 maybe. It's this is the standard MO for these Lady Mechanica stories. They have different writers often, but they always have art by Joe Benitez. And the Joe Benitez art is always what gets me. It's just really fantastic. The stories are not bad. You can get these things and you can find going back to, goodness, I don't know how far back, and get them in quarter bins. But
not some of the variants.
Yeah, but what do you call it? Steampunk. It's set as a steampunk universe. But some of them are pretty good. I read something in the last couple of years with Lady Mechanica, and this one's called Lady Mechanica, the Mechanical Menagerie, 1 of 4. So I don't know that I'll get this, but yeah, I do this a lot, don't I? Yeah. Man, if I bought everything I said I was going to buy, I'd be broke.
Well, we gotta talk about things that other people might want to pick up.
Yeah, I know for sure. There's a guy he's another podcaster, Alan I started saying Quartermain. Alan Middleton he's got the Quarter Bin podcast. He only reviews books that he bought that cost him a quarter or less, which is kind of a cool premise. But he loves Lady Mechanica, so that's how I got turned on to the character.
Okay. All right. Page 356. We have Odin, number 1 of 9. This is from James Tynion IV, Marguerite Bennett. Art duty by Letizia Candonici and Jordi Belair. I think the basic premise is some neo-Nazis want to resurrect Odin to ensure kind of like a white destiny is kind of what I got from reading this. That seems a little, I mean, it's a little crazy sounding, but yeah, it's yeah, they say no taboo unbroken in this story. So
well, James Tynan, I think it's going to be good. I had it down as well. But I got to tell you a quick story about neo-Nazis and their love of the Nordic religion of the Norse gods.
Okay.
When I worked at the prison, the white gangs, there was a gang called the Northsiders, and they were getting frustrated because they couldn't get enough. They couldn't have their gang meetings in the church, in the chapel, like some of the other gangs that these guys came from the city that would use other religions as their front. Well, the Northsiders decided they were going to use the Norse gods, and they started saying they were either Wiccan or they were Odinists, which is what it was called Odinists.
Okay.
And they filed a petition to have a Thor's hammer or whatever. I don't know if they called it. They wanted, because that was part of the religious right, to have this big heavy hammer. Of course, in prisons you can give them the least restrictive alternative. So we give them a cardboard cutout of Thor's hammer, so they could have their and it was all a front for them anyway.
Yeah.
They were just on some BS. But so that's what this reminds me of.
Okay, all right.
I should send an email to James Tynan and say, hey, I got some resource material for you.
There you go. 357. I had this one down, as does Michael Cathro. This is actually he's jumping on our investment pick bandwagon. So this is Michael Cathro's investment pick of the month.
Okay.
So this is Of the Earth, issue 1 of 6. So it's the first issue of a new miniseries. Chris Condon and Andrew Eric on the writing duties. Charlie Adler art, probably best known for the first 6 issues of Walking Dead, though he has done some other stuff. Chris Condon for That Texas Blood. This is yet another story set in Texas, where you return home, and home is not what it was whenever you left, and that includes Grandma.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had this one down as well. So it looks interesting. That Texas Blood is a series that I had at one time. I had the whole series, and I just sold it without reading it. I probably need to. I feel like I should read that series. I've kind of heard a few things about it. And this, with it being the same writer, kind of gives me pause. Probably something I'm going to look into just a little bit.
Yeah, Chris Godin, I think he does some the what is that, L something gang, I thought he wrote that too. Another comic in the last couple of years was a historical. It was based on true events, but it's like he likes Western stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, having been watching The Landman with my wife on TV, this is kind of this whole oil man thing is pretty popular. You can even go back to maybe Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. I mean, that seems like it's got its own little subgenre.
Yeah. 359.
Yeah, I'm 362.
Okay, so She Spawn number 1. I am only mentioning this because written by Gail Simone. So it looks like we're finally going to have a good writer in the Spawn universe.
Yeah.
Now, I shouldn't say that. There have been some other, well-regarded writers writing Spawn characters in the past, but I don't recall seeing Gail Simone writing for Spawn previously. So I thought that was interesting. Not buying it, but I thought it was nice to see somebody else writing in this universe.
Yeah,
so.
they're probably paying her pretty well, and she deserves it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm just not a Spawn fan at all.
No, me neither. I mean, I kind of liked the character initially, but I wouldn't want to try to go through and catch up on all that. So.
Right. what did I say, 362?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so this is just sort of a reason for me to mention how well the Energon universe has sold in 2025.
Okay.
This is the Energon Universe Special 2026. It's a one-shot by Robert Kirkman, Joshua Williamson, and it's the universe that includes the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Void Rivals, and, as was announced recently, Mask. The toy line, Mask, is going to be integrated into this universe. And for people, I mean, I'm not necessarily I've read a few GI Joes, and I've read the first volume of the Void Rivals. I like the Void Rivals. I've never read any Transformers, but I hear a lot of great things with Daniel Warren Johnson. So I can't say with a whole lot of personal experience, but I'd say there's enough people out there that are vouching for this. In fact, I want to say that Energon Universe Comics in 2025, I think I have a note here, sold 6 million copies.
Wow.
You know, I mentioned earlier how DC Absolute sold 8 million copies. Yeah, so Energon is right there with it and really made 2025 a big year for comics.
Huh. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So
384 is where I'm at.
I got 366.
Okay.
It's the Rockefellers are having a 0 issue. Now this is part of the Ghost Machine universe,
Okay.
but published by Image now, and I'm not sure, written by, the series has been written by Peter Tomasi, who I've always liked. Art's by Francis Manapul, also really solid. And this is a really cool book in and of itself, but they're introducing another group called the Unbelievables. And so it's just like of the, sort of like the Incredibles or things like that. So it's just a 0 issue, and I haven't been buying Rockefellers in the past 6 issues or so, but I really need to again.
Well, going back a page then, if you're going to pick it up because of the introduction of the Unbelievables, then you also need to pick up Hornsby and Halo issue number 0.
Oh, yeah.
And it also has the tagline at the top of the book, "Who are the Unbelievables Prelude." So.
Yes. Very good. Good pickup. I didn't see that.
So
and I'm good for a while.
Okay, I'm on 384.
Okay.
Okay, so 384, we have... Now, we talked about this first issue last month because it has all the variant covers. So the Ghost Machine, the official guidebook. 2 of 5. I didn't realize that the Ghost Machine universe would need 5 issues for a handbook already. I'm kind of surprised that there's that many characters that would need a handbook entry.
Yeah,
So
and the only series I'm really reading loyally is Redcoat, but he does meet, and the Northerner has appeared and has his own series now, I think, but all I can think is that maybe Redcoat, everybody that's ever guested in
it has
in
to
that
be,
book,
it has to be something like that. So
yeah, you're right though, because it's a lot.
Yeah,
5 issues. Okay.
So 427.
I've got 403
Okay.
If I can type it in real quick. Okay, it's just Super Creep Show number 3. I was looking at my notes for last month, and I had this same book on my list, and I'm thinking it had the same, for the same reason. It's an homage cover. Yeah. So this one is an homage cover of Action Comics number 1, and it's probably the most homaged cover in history of comics. But anyway, it's all horror stuff, but Superman smashing the car instead of the Superman in a car. It's a coffin. It's a zombie in a coffin or something. So now I'm good for a bit.
Okay, I'm still on 427.
Okay.
So I've been wondering how long World Tree is going to run, because it's an ongoing, but obviously it's not going to run. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. It's not going to run forever. But here we're getting World Tree Deluxe Book 1 hardcover, which implies that there's going to be 2 hardcovers. The first hardcover is covering issues 1 through 16. I know 17 and 18 are already out because I've been reading those. So that implies that we're going to get at least 32 issues of World Tree, so we're just
Mm-hmm.
a little over halfway through that series. I was hoping we were nearing the end, so I could stop buying it. Now I have to decide what I'm going to do. If I'm going to write it out to the end, or if I'm going to
Write
be,
it out.
yeah. So you
Write
think
it out.
I'll just write it out? Okay, I'm
I think so.
writing it out
Yeah.
then. So
I am. We might as well do it together.
okay, all right. All right, and then on 430 is my next thing.
Okay.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
we have Dog Tag number 1. So this is from Mad Cave, written by Mark Russell, and he is
Yep.
basically creating fictional stories about a very real war. So it's World War II, bringing in a fictional character into World War II. Um, I don't have much more to say about it other than it's a new number 1 from Mad Cave. And on page 447, do you have anything for 447? Or can I continue my thought?
No, you go ahead.
All right,
Yep.
we have a book that we talked about on the second issue because we missed it the first issue, which was the Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre. So this is up to issue number 4. This is another one of those books like White Sky and Dork that is just absolutely taking off.
Mm-hmm.
So the pricing on these first issues has gotten to be honestly, it's borderline ridiculous. So I was flipping through Facebook and I saw a I'm gonna call it a conspiracy theory about why this is happening, and I think it's they make a couple of interesting points. So the theory is that somebody who has access to Lunar's ordering, because all of the books that have just blown up here recently have only been
Yeah.
available at Lunar. Okay,
Oh.
so somebody has access to the order numbers for some of these books, and then when they see something that is pretty low print, then they are like, I don't know if they're ordering extra copies and then hyping the book up or
Oh,
whatever,
that's
but
not good.
yeah, but they if you go into Key Collector, and I should have had this pulled up before I started just talking at random here, but they mentioned some times in the past where things like this have happened. Um, oh gosh, I wish I could find it
Well, they're
here.
artificially
Yeah.
elevating the value of the book because they're creating a shortage,
Mm-hmm.
and then once everybody gets that FOMO
Mm-hmm.
feeling,
Exactly.
and then they
So
freak out and they get on eBay and spend $40 on a
on a copy,
silly book.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what they were saying is that there were instances of people bidding up copies of some of those books higher than what buy it now prices were on eBay,
Oh
which
boy.
kind of points towards a little bit of market manipulation going on
Yeah.
with a lot of these books that are like this. I wish I was looking to see if I could find one. Maybe if I just search for White Sky. I think that was the one that Comic Key Collector had the notes on. But basically, kind of all these books that have taken off are kind of following into that same fold out. So think of this: buyer beware. Another brand new release is already selling consistently for $30 to $40 on eBay the same day it hits the shelves. This issue, along with Dork 1 and several similar recent releases, should be approached with caution as the pricing activity may suggest potential market manipulation. This type of market activity was common prior to 2020 when indie books would spike on eBay only to be replaced by the next hot title a few weeks later. And one of these listings talked about some of the books that were like that. They mentioned like Autumnal, and I can't even remember what the other books were.
Autumnal,
But
yeah.
it's one of those cases where they get hot, and then people realize, well, either A, they're not that good, or B, they were manipulated.
They've
There's
been
more
had.
copies out there than what was implied. So yeah. Anyway, so like I'm gonna put my 4 copies of Dork out there for sale and try to get as much out of them as I can while the going is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would not advise anybody to buy a copy of it because there's a decent chance. Well, one, it may or may not be any good. I haven't read it yet,
Yeah.
and then two, the price may drop through the floor. So
Yeah. It's what gave speculation a bad name
hmm
because speculating on its face is not a bad thing.
no,
But to me, there should most stores well, first of all, most stores don't put a whole lot of shelf copies of anything out.
No,
It's very rare.
yeah.
Back in the day, they did, and
Mm-hmm.
then but they would have like a cap on how many they would sell to one person.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard stores talk about, something that was really hot. People coming in, they'd buy two or three, they'd come back in later and try to buy another two and
Mm-hmm.
three, wait for a different shop employee in there that wouldn't know.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know if DCBS or one of those online distributors has any kind of caps like that, but I probably doubt it.
Oh no, they wouldn't because heck, I mean, you got to order
Yeah,
100, 250 copies to,
sure.
get some of the variant covers. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's wild.
well, I
That's
mean, that's
good.
not.
Good word.
I was gonna say that's
Word.
not anything new because even I remember back in the, oh gosh, when was Death in the Family with
It was like
80
89.
something? Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, when
88,
that,
89.
I mean, I remember going in and buying the first print of that first issue, and then a week or two later going back in, and this is back when Dennis, owned Campus Comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was paying $15 because he knew what he could get for him immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and if Dennis was paying $15 for it, you know,
He knew it was a sure
yeah,
thing.
he knew he was going to get his money back fast. So, I mean, for a 75-cent comic at the time, I don't remember
Yeah,
what they were.
yeah.
Yeah, so this stuff has
And what's
happened.
crazy about that? Just talking about that particular story, it wasn't that great of a story.
No.
And Jim Aparo is way past his prime for that story. It was one of those like hot stories,
Yep.
well known, but I didn't really even like it. So, yeah,
So anyway, that's our warning, for
yeah.
anybody who's
Public service
yeah.
announcement.
I mean, if you'd be better off like I will 2 or 3 books every single month. I'll pick up 4 copies of them like I did with Dork because you do get that hot title that can pay for a lot of books that you miss on, you
Yeah.
know. So, and I've been pretty fortunate. I've been picking some good ones between Mark Spear's Monster 1 and then getting several copies of Dork and stuff like that. So that's been good, but I've missed on a lot of other ones too. So,
Right, right.
let's see. All right. I'm on page 507.
I'm all the way to 728. So
720. Okay, I got several here then between now. So I just thought this
okay.
was kind of interesting. So this is role play, ROLL play, Fight or Fright. It has 32 playable scenarios. So this is basically it's a card deck, is what it says. 32 playable scenarios, format card deck. I missed that. So it's 38 cards and a 160-page booklet. And the idea is like with a 6-sided dice, you can do these little mini RPG adventures. So you can go up against, was it Jack the Ripper or the Mothman or whatever. So this is from Inside Editions. I thought that was kind of interesting. Then on
Yeah.
the next page, you have also from Inside Editions, these are both under the Massive Indies. You have Studio Ghibli Origami. And now, most people don't know Studio Ghibli, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but they had like My Neighbor Totoro and Spirit Away, a bunch of animated movies. But last year with ChatGPT, there was a real resurgence in this studio because people were asking for images of themselves done in this style. So, but now you could get origami.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
origami for this. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Then on 511, what caught my eye on this book from Amp Comics, also under Massive Indies, is the title, which is Kill Switch. So Kill Switch implies it's a cybersecurity term about cutting off an attack, and maybe it's beyond cybersecurity, but that's how I came to know about the Kill Switch. It was from cybersecurity. So it has a very cyberpunk feel to it, and what beyond the name, there was an episode of The X-Files written by William Gibson, who's best known for Neuromancer, that was also titled Kill Switch. So this is probably a buy for me just for that reason. There's the implied, sci-fi, cybersecurity angle on this, so I'm probably going to pick it up for that reason. Let's see,
Cool.
515. This is from Antarctic Press, which is now publishing under Massive Indies. Antarctic Press has been around for a long time, and it's not a publisher that we mention very often because of their, I don't know, Ninja High School and exciting comics are not, things that we are typically reading. But they do have a new 6-issue series. called the Cryptid Cores, and basically you have like Sasquatch and Mothman and several other cryptids that are extra-dimensional beings. A government unit of extra-dimensional beings is ambushed on a mission to stop a vengeful tyrant. So 6 issues. I'm torn about picking this up. The artwork is better than what I see from most Antarctic Press books.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I just don't know if I can buy into it or not. But I thought it was worth mentioning with it being a new #1.
Yeah, I don't know the creators, Anthony Cleveland, and that's the writer, and the artist is Max Bertolini. It'd be interesting to pick it up and see if it was good. But
okay, you said you're not till 700.
Yeah, I'm all the way up to tomorrow's.
Okay, all right. So okay, you just gonna have to bear. I'll go as fast as I can to get through these. So all right, so Oni Press on page 570, we have Destination Kill #1. Has a fully returnable cover A, written by Joe Palmer. So basically, the premise of this is kind of a corporations versus the underclass. So there's a railway that is built between, I assume, it says Central City, but I assume they mean London, and New York. That can get you from one location to the other in 60 minutes. So, but the workers have an uprising because of whatever reason the workers have the uprising. So it kind of likens it to V for Vendetta in the solicit. So I'm not familiar with who Joe Palmer is. There is a Riley
He's doing
Rosmo.
it all, too. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a Riley Rosmo cover. But anyway, set in 2125. 40 pages for the first issue. Kind of had some interest. All right, then 631 monthly plug for Future Is from Rekka Comics. They're up to issue 13, and once again they are doing the 10 issues for $10 if you want to buy multiples. All right, new. Well, I don't think this is a new publisher, but do you remember seeing rocket ships in the catalog before?
As a publisher?
As a publisher. Okay, so they may have been in there before and I just skipped over them. But
what
they
page?
I'm on page 632. And actually 633 is the first title I'm going to mention, which is Imperia. This is the first book of a new ongoing series. I like how they add in the little info the audience for this title. And they do this for these 3 books. So the audience for this title is somebody who plays Dungeons and Dragons, reads Game of Thrones, loves Critical Role, and owns replica fantasy swords. Which I thought was kind of clever. Now, they did give us like 4 pages of preview art for this story. And I know this is probably an inaccurate description, but to me, it's like, what if Amethyst were a product shill? So is kind of the premise for this Imperia. All right,
well,
so
definitely has the look. Blonde hair, purple dress. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I took away from that. But I don't know. It's interesting enough. I'm going to think about putting it in order.
Yeah, the art looks good too. Yeah, I totally missed that. Yeah.
Now they have 2 additional books that are graphic novels. The first one is Gun Punch. This is on page 636. And basically, again, I'm going to read the audience for this title. Fans of Justice League International. So that means that you got to like humor, right?
Yeah.
Loves Office Space, reads Hitchhiker's Guide, and hates their boss. All right? So it's kind of like the working guy getting his revenge type of a thing. So after losing his job and his girl on the same day, a mysterious girl turns him into Gun Punch. So it's a little over the top, but again, they give us 4 pages of preview art, not terrible. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then, to I think finally cap off Rocket Ship here on page 6. No, I got 2 more in Rocket Ship. I'm sorry. We have 2 Sons, and there's a movie getting ready to come out with Ryan Gosling, and I'm blanking on the title of the movie. But in the movie, they wake up and they're on a starship going to the sun, which is based on a book. Okay. Well, this premise sounds very similar to that. They wake up on an alien world and they're having to figure out what it is that they're supposed to be doing there. So if that upcoming Ryan Gosling movie is something that you're interested in, or the book that it was based off of, which I don't remember.
Project Hail Mary.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Then this might be a title for you. And then to finally finish with Rocket Ship, you have Apocalyptic Horseplay. So this basically, so this one is reads Good Omens, loves Buffy and Angel, fans of Adult Swim, and cosplay as Army of Darkness. So I got a kick out of the audience for this title. I thought that was kind of clever, kind of go into a little bit of detail. But it's the Horsemen of Apocalypse have basically, it's like they've retired or something, like living these normal lives, trying to be anonymous. But then there's a new child that can bring about the end of the world. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. So I don't know if it was a new publisher or if they just happened to have 4 titles that caught my eye the first month. So it was just a little bit different. So
well, you're a big supporter of this Rocket Ship.
Apparently, so maybe I should be buying stock or something. I don't know. Okay, sorry I'm talking so much.
No.
644. Another publisher that I think is new to the Diamond catalog, from the Diamond catalog, now in Lunar, is Stranger Comics. And they have 3 issues solicited, because apparently these had been previously solicited at Diamond, so they've probably been ready to come out for a while now. Right. It's called Defiant, the Story of Robert Smalls. So I think this is based off of a true story. So it was
that name sounds familiar.
Born a slave, but destined for greatness, Robert Smalls became a captain in the Union Navy by stealing a Confederate ship. Decades later, retired Congressman Robert Smalls sits down with his grandson to tell the story of his life, based on historical events. And it's an NAACP Image Award. And again, they are soliciting the first 3 issues. Now, some of them aren't going to be on sale until June. But we do have the first 3 issues solicited. And I guess they're pushing it because of the fact that it had been previously solicited with Diamond and it's not made it out. Okay. All right, then, I'm sorry, Mike.
I'm typing up that one now so I know to get it.
On page 653, we have Untamed, A Sinner's Prayer. Now, this is a weird story on this book. So this was originally printed in 2009, but never distributed. Now, I know there are copies out there of this book because there are some available for sale on eBay. So apparently, I don't know what happened. It got pulled or whatever. There are 9/8 graded copies that are over $300. All right. So they are reprinting this now because this title, Untamed, has been picked up to have a movie. And I think it's Viola Davis is involved with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Viola Davis will produce an adaptation of The Untamed, A Sinner's Prayer. And it's actually part of a whole universe of stories. So if you actually scroll down to page 656 in the catalog, there is a World of Asunda trade paperback bundle that you can get that has the first 2 volumes of The Untamed, 2 volumes of Niobe, a volume of Dusu, and a volume of Arathun. So it's this whole universe of stories, and you get several pages of preview art after that. So anyway, that was just one of those weird things that it's like, how many books do you know of that get a second print that never had a first print? Which is not accurate, but you know, it's like they weren't found out. So all right, 671 Blade Runner. So I got to throw it out there. New Blade Runner title, Tokyo Nexus. Looks like it's going to be a 4-issue series, just set in the Titan Comics. This is in Titan Comics Blade Runner universe. Now, Mike, if you can, I'd like for you to go to 686 with me. Okay. If it won't mess you up too terribly bad.
No.
But we've got Savage Sword of Conan, Volume 4. And I would like for you to tell me what is wrong with this Mike Mignola cover of Savage Sword of Conan.
Let's see. Well, you got the dog wearing a
Yeah,
Like a bus
a
driver
navy hat, and you have a guy in blue jeans and a wife beater. What does this have to do with Conan?
Man, you got me.
Yeah,
I have
that's
no
just
idea.
bizarre. I don't understand this cover. I'm wondering if this is a mistake. So,
Almost
but
like it's Mignola. It looks
yeah,
like
it
Mignola.
is, and it is.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if that's a mistake or if that's just a
It does not
placeholder
look like.
cover. But it's
Right,
not
yeah.
Conan. It
No,
is
no,
100% not Conan. So unless there's
no.
something else,
There is a sword or a knife on it,
hmm
but that does not make it
yeah. But
Conan.
there's like a regular house in the background, and again, you got this
Yeah.
pug dog and with a navy hat, and
Oh, brother.
it's just weird. So I don't understand that. So that's what caught my attention there on that one. All right, and I think my last one before you, 744. We have from Vault of Visions. All right, so there's a new series called Excommunicated. Now, this feels like a dark version of Good Omens to me because the concept is that a faithful nun and a demon at a botched exorcism have to team up. All right, so my only take on this, I'm probably going to try this. I just hope they can be respectful in the presentation of some of the material, especially dealing with the nun.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a kind of an interesting concept to me. So that's Excommunicated, issue 1, and that's from Vault Vision.
Yikes.
Yeah. So okay, I'm done finally with Lunar, so you can finish out Lunar.
I have a feeling I need to have you email me your list because I didn't write everything down, but I'm really thinking there's a lot of stuff that you mentioned that I probably should get.
Okay, I can send that to you later on. Or hey,
Okay.
you can just listen to the podcast before you put in your order and see what you want to add.
I could, yeah, yeah. Or the fastest thing would be for you to send it to me.
Oh,
But hey,
okay.
whatever you want to do.
All right. I see how you.
Well, like you, I have obligatory plugs throughout a catalog. Not too many, but one of them is always usually a Tomorrow's publication. This time it's back issue, their very first annual, and it features some Neil Adams Superman stories and covers and art and stuff. It's a little bit about whenever he developed his own continuity studios. So yeah, I've just pretty much I'm all in on back issue now. I pretty much buy every one that comes out. So but it's an annual, and I'm thinking, Tomorrow's they don't really publish an issue of back issue every
No, every
month,
Yeah.
but yet they have time to do an annual. So I don't know if that's just a kind of a gimmick or what it is. But
Well, do you think the annual is reprinting material from the various issues, or do you think it's all new material?
well, it's talking about it's just talking about a special tribute to Silver and Bronze Age
Okay.
Neil Adams. It doesn't talk about material from other annuals or previous issues of their own book. I don't know. Not sure.
Okay. So I was looking. It was the first ever annual back issue from them. So
Yeah, right.
okay. Sorry, I didn't realize I jumped past you in my rapid rundown.
Oh my! I'm sure. It'll be just fine.
Okay. All right. So we on to Penguin.
Yes.
All right. The Penguin catalog is much shorter than the Lunar catalog was for me. So
Yeah.
probably the same for you, I assume.
I bet I know your first one though.
Oh, let's see. Well, we'll have to talk about first on page 7 before
Oh,
we,
okay.
because that's their their picks kind of for the month.
Oh, right. Yeah, we got to do that
So we
first.
just got
Yeah.
we can rapid fire those.
Okay.
That starts on page 7. No, not page 7. Page 9, which is physical printed page 7, but page 9. All right, so we got a new Berserker. Keanu Reeves, of course. The BRZRKR. Thumbs up, thumbs down from you, Mike?
I'll say thumbs up. Again, I mean we reviewed the first series, didn't we?
No, we only did the first few issues, or maybe even just the first issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, that series fell apart at the end. So not as big of a fan as I was. Though I hate to say anything negative about Keanu Reeves because he seems like an awesome guy.
Yeah, and it's a different scripter in this book too.
Hmm.
It's the first one was
Matt
Kent,
Kent,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
Matt Kent. So,
Yeah. So
um,
I'll say thumbs
all
up.
right, well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go thumbs down. I'm probably not gonna order that one. So, next page we have from Dark Horse, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, The Wings of Fate. Now, this is one that Michael Cathro put down as one of his picks. So I'll throw that out there. Ties into the movie that's coming out this summer.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a yes. I'll get it.
Are you a Masters of the Universe fan?
No, I mean, I never look. I'm the oldest of 7 kids. I never had any toys.
Ha!
If I did, my little brothers and sisters
Tore 'em apart.
destroyed them, stole them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never got to keep anything except for my comics, and that was because I just kept them up high. I guess I don't know.
Okay. Ha.
But no, I never. I know of them. It was kind of in my era. No, I was a little bit too old really to
Yeah.
quite enjoy it in the '80s. I was already in high school, so. But I can appreciate. I like the art, and I like Tim Sheridan. So, and plus with the movie coming out. In fact, if somebody had to say, Mike, you can trade your previous pick in for this, yeah, I would trade in and take this one.
Okay. I'm a thumbs down on that one as well. It's not. He-Man is just not for me. So,
Yeah.
all right, next page from IDW, we have Star Trek Celebrations 2026, which I assume is kind of like a annual, but they call it a Celebrations Anthology.
Hmm.
So, Mike, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'd love to support it, but I'm not a Star Trek. I mean, I am. I have lots of good memories of watching the original series with my dad, but I don't. I can't see. I don't know. It's too late for me to get into Star Trek now.
Yeah.
I think.
I,
I didn't know
I I watched some Star Trek, but I'm not a Star Trek comic fan, so that one gets a thumb down from me as well. But I'm all thumbs down. You're the positive one. All right, Ignition Press. We have Bad Thoughts from Andy Parks, illustrated by Dave
Watker, yeah.
So new Ignition debut from the creator of Extraction. So Mike, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I haven't even read the premise, but I did have it down.
Okay.
I like Dave Watker art,
Okay.
and I had it down anyway for something to talk about. So I'm going to say thumbs up.
You gonna say
Yeah.
thumbs up? Okay. I'm probably gonna go thumbs up on this one as well. So I may pick this one up. So what all were you gonna say about it? Besides, it's there.
I was going to wing it.
Okay.
I was going to kind of like paraphrase some of the solicitation. So
All right.
it's, I guess, a guy named Jack Coates can look inside your mind and read your mind and know all the bad thoughts that you've had, and it serves him well as a private security firm. Just stuff like that. I
Okay.
can't. Again, it's mostly I'm picking it because of Dave Watker.
Okay. All right. I can lean into that. Then from Marvel, we have Queen in Black, not to be confused with the King in Black, written by Al Ewing. So this is basically, it might actually, okay, so this is Something Happens to Hel, who is, of course, Norse. We talked about Norse mythology already with Odin. So this is Hela, right, from, I assume that's who that is. Yeah, Hela of Asgard, I guess, gets nullified or symbioted or whatever. To become the Queen in Black.
Yes.
So, Mike, thumbs up, thumbs down.
That's a thumbs down. I mean, I like Hela as a villain.
Mhm.
One of my favorite Marvel villains.
Yep.
I thought the visual is just fantastic. I remember being at C2E2 one year and seeing someone cosplaying
Yeah.
and everybody had to give her a wide
Wide berth, yeah.
berth,
Mhm.
but a very cool look. But no, I don't like anything symbiote.
No, I'm not a fan of the symbiote stuff. However, I might be picking up a few copies of this just in case.
Sure.
So, yeah. Now, I do not like the fact that they have a True Believers blind bag variant program. I'm already
Yeah.
done with the blind bags.
Yeah.
From Disney manga, All Hail the Pumpkin King. So this is a Nightmare Before Christmas story. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Big down.
Big down. I'm
My-
going to join
my-
you there on the thumbs down. I kind of
my
like the
gra-
movie, but it's too much.
My granddaughter loves it, but I cannot stand that movie.
Really? Oh, okay.
I just can't. And Tim Burton is, I mean, other than Batman, it's about the only thing I really could say I liked of his.
Beetlejuice?
I've never seen Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Edward Scissorhands.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
No.
okay, all right.
Maybe I need. Maybe the jury's still out. I need to
Maybe,
see some
yeah,
of those
maybe
movies.
see some more. So, you're 50-50, one good, one bad. So, well, of course, I guess you got a
Yeah.
couple of good Batman movies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then one bad, Nightmare Before Christmas. So you need to see if it's the next one evens
Yeah.
it out or whatever. So, all right. So on to the rest of the catalog. All right. Page 13 is where I have the first thing to mention.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So this is actually from Michael Cathro, a new book in the Something is Killing the Children line, Fall of the House of Slaughter. Now, I'm personally not a big fan of the Something is Killing the Children. I read like the first volume. It didn't do much for me, but I know a lot of people really enjoy it. So,
Yeah. I reviewed the. Uh, oh my gosh! Did I do House of Slaughter? Or did I do the Something's Killing the Children on
on the
one of the
road
Roadshow
show,
episodes?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I can't remember which one I did. I think I did House of Slaughter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm so far behind now. I don't know that I would. It's. I mean, gosh. I bet the original series is into like its 40s, 30s or 40s of it, on issues.
Well, I don't know if that it would be because they probably have been publishing in different, probably like only one title in the universe at a time. So
Yeah, maybe.
I was trying to look through your feed here, see. Here it is. So episode 17, House of Slaughter,
Okay.
along with
Yep.
Coastal Comics.
Yep. That's right.
All right. 19 for me, page 19. Do you have 19?
I do, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say they've been listening to our podcast because not that terribly long ago, we did
Right.
the first 5 appearances of One Concrete from Dark
Yes.
Horse.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, what do we get after 20 years? The first new Concrete comic in 20 years. So Dark Horse, you're welcome. So Concrete Stars Over Sand by Paul Chadwick. So you got the same creator on
Same
the
creator,
series.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think it's great. I'm so happy to see this because I really enjoyed that first 5 that we did, and I was really surprised. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's. I thought for sure when I first seen it, it would be some other creator, but it's that's good.
And we covered Concrete on episode 195 back on, I guess the published date was October 6th of 2024.
I'll be darned.
So there you go. All right. I'm not till 32 now.
Well, I thought I was on 27, but I must have put the wrong page in, so I can't find. That's not it. So
What are you
I'll let
looking
you
for?
go. It was called Devil on My Shoulder trade paperback.
Oh, okay. So is that the Kyle Starks one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what you had down?
No, it's not. But since it's the Penguin one, you can actually search the catalog, whereas you can't do that on the Lunar catalog. Let's see. Well, I say that you can.
Here it is. It's on page 79.
79.
Not-
Okay, so you got a
not-
little ways to go then. All right.
Yeah, not 27, so
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I got a few things before that. You have anything
Okay,
else before
all right.
that page?
Page. No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. So 32. Again, not knowing how long these series are supposed to be, I was surprised to see Rocketeer the Island issue number 3 from IDW. So I have the first
Yeah.
2 issues of that series. I will continue to pick that up. Then on page 33, I'm not ordering this one for sure, but it is a new number 1. It's from IDW Crime. So you have 7 wives. So basically the premise is that you have a murder with 49 witnesses and 7 wives and 1 dead husband. So yeah. So it takes place in, you guessed it, Utah. So it's smack dab in Mormon country. So not for me, but number 1, throwing it out there.
It's. I had it down because I lived
okay.
in Salt Lake City for 3 years, and I got to know a lot of members of the Latter-day Saints, LDS. They never. You don't hear them refer to themselves as Mormons so much as they do LDS.
Okay.
But it's sort of a cultural thing in the U.S. It's very interesting, that religion, and I mean you've seen what was there was a Broadway play called The Book of Mormon,
Yeah.
which sort of was a satire of
Yeah.
that religion. But
Well, same guys who
anyway,
did South Park.
right, yeah. So it's anything. I'm always a little bit. I don't want to like step on toes because everybody has a right to whatever denomination or religion they follow. But I found this to be interesting of a premise, and put it down to maybe pick up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then on page 39, this is from Ignition Press. We have Innards #1. So this is from Rob Guillory and San.
Oh,
Lochte?
Rob Guillory.
Oh, Guillory.
Oh,
Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
Rob Guillory. Yeah, I know him.
Okay.
I mean, I know his work. He did Farmhand.
Okay.
And Chew.
Chew. Right. So he has a new book, Innards, issue #1, coming out from Ignition Press. All right. So that's probably worth a check. And then on the next page, page 40. This is another. We're mentioning Michael Cathro a bunch because he did me a solid here. So my obsession with volleyball comics. Well, he had read a preview of Just Brutal issue #2, and guess what's in that? Volleyball scene.
game.
So it turns out that one of the characters is the daughter of like this is the daughter in this group. She's a volleyball player. So of course I had to go try. I missed ordering Just Brutal #2. But I found Just Brutal #1 on eBay. I thought I'll order it just in case. And lo and behold, it does have one panel where the daughter is playing volleyball in it. So now this is going to be on my regular list. So thank you, Michael, for that. I appreciate it. Then on 41, this is also from Ignition Press. So Ignition Press getting 3 mentions in this episode. Showdown #1. Comic script by Dave Wilgos and illustrated by Tad Galusha. Basically, the premise is getting even with your high school enemy. So the main character, Trish Sullivan, thinks that somebody in her high school is responsible for the death of her little brother, and she comes back to get revenge, and things haven't been so great for the guy. So, yeah, so showdown, just that general concept there. All right. I'm on to Marvel. So do you have anything before 47?
No.
Okay. So we're going to talk about sales numbers here at the end of the episode. We're assuming you have the time with the ICV2 website. I am starting to wonder, and I'm just asking for your opinion on this. Do you think Penguin Random House is negatively impacting Marvel sales? And if so, do you think they'll jump and go to Lunar at some point in the future? Because when we look at their sales, we're going to once again see that in the top 10, they've got 2 books. And that is a complete flip-flop from the pre-Absolute days. Or do you think it's just been that Absolute has been so great that it's just pushed Marvel out?
I think Penguin Random House cares less about Marvel than it does about getting its other material into these niche independent comic stores that can also carry some other books.
Okay.
So I think they're getting exposure through their catalogs to these shops, which they could do through Lunar or Penguin Random House. Or I'm sorry, they could Marvel could get their stuff out there. It would feel more like a comic distributor if they went through Lunar. Right. So I think Penguin's doing it just to get the exposure of their what they've been known for the last half a decade or half of a century out, or however long they've been around.
Because I've even, again, it's anecdotal, but postings about some stores have just stopped ordering Marvel. And I wonder if there's also some barriers to ordering that are there because of Penguin Random House. Because maybe they had just been continuing to get their Marvel from Diamond, and now that Diamond's out, they just they're not selling that many.
I think what's selling Marvel right now is just the inertia of it being Marvel.
Yeah.
There's nothing really catching people's eyes. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, though. So.
Well, I mean, I've got 3 things to mention in Marvel. I'm a Marvel guy, and I had way more than 3 to mention in DC that I thought were, interesting. So
I have 3 as well, and 2 of them are crossovers with DC.
Oh, okay, so I don't have any. Well, I have 1 crossover with DC to mention. So we're so I'm on 47. Let's just talk about.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So 47, we have Avengers Armageddon issue #1, script by Chip Zdarsky. That's a positive. I assume that this is Marvel's next event, though we don't get, the big event thing because of how Penguin does the catalog.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a Red Hulk storyline. So I don't know. Maybe it's the new storyline event. Maybe not. I'm not buying it either way, but it is just one of those things. Now they talk about there will be a pre-Armageddon Marvel Universe and a post-Armageddon Marvel Universe.
Before they even have this series out, they're already drawing the line between pre and post.
So I don't know what to think about that.
It's a little presumptuous to think it's going to mean that much.
Yeah.
Now, there's 2 events with Marvel this year. It's Avengers Armageddon and the Queen in Black.
Okay.
And their events seem like there's more of them, and they're more in little families. They're either Spider-Verse, X-Men verse, Avengers verse.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's a little different.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of the events most of the time. If it doesn't have any real impact, I don't care about it, If you can skip the event and not notice, that anything's changed, why bother reading the event? So.
Right.
All right, then I'm on 51.
Okay.
Okay, so 51, we have Doom Quest #1, written by Ryan North, of course, Fantastic Four.
Good. Yeah.
Now, what I like about this solicit is that it says Doom Quest is an evergreen Doctor Doom story, which means that you can read it at any time. If you just new to Doctor Doom, hey, if you've been with Doom for a long time, here's a story to read. It's one of those that apparently is more about his origin and how he came to be. So
and his personality.
Yeah, and that kind of appeals to me. So that's something I thought was worth mentioning.
I had this down too.
Okay.
But I got to read part of the solicitation and see if anyone could plug in different names for Doom and Reed Richards.
Okay.
Victor Von Doom is by any measure a great man, and yet Doom wants more. And when Reed Richards is showcased at a prestigious international event to which Doom hasn't been invited, wasn't even invited, Doom is outraged. So I'm just thinking in more contemporary terms, someone being mad that someone else got a prize.
See, I was going for the comic book angle, and I could have read it. Lex Luthor is, by any measure, a great man.
Very much.
And yet Lex wants more. And when Superman is showcased,
that is true too.
That's where I was
going
with
it. That is true. Yes, that's true too. Yeah. Oh my!
Well,
I got that down as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I assume the thing we both want to talk about is on page 55. Did you have something else crossover-wise before 55?
It was only in the Marvel catalog on page 36, and it wasn't in the big one here. So let me go to that page. It's the Marvel DC Spider-Man Superman #1. It's an all-new, all-spectacular, and I'm getting confused as to these things coming out and whether this is new or been solicited before. But I'm looking at all these covers, and I could probably spend all my money on the variants. I mean, these covers are awesome.
Okay.
You've got it looks like a main one with Superman and Spider-Man. Looking like a bird's eye view of them. Then you got Superman and Wonder Woman and Jane Foster, Thor, and Spider-Man. It's really cool. There's so many cool covers. I mean, we're talking like 3 pages of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, back to Penguin Random House on page 55, which I assume you also want to talk about. You have the JLA Avengers #1 facsimile edition from Marvel. This, of course, is the Kurt Busiek, George Perez story. Now, Marvel is going to publish issues 1 and 3. And DC is going to publish issues 2 and 4. Now, my only real thought about this, because I was able to get the trade, that limited trade that they did right before Perez passed.
Same.
So I have a copy of that, so I don't need these facsimiles. However, I think it would be very interesting if you could look at total sales numbers between the Marvel issues and the DC issues. And that would 100% be an answer to, is Penguin able to get the in-shop pull?
If it's the distributing that's maybe the problem. That is a very good point.
And Marvel has the advantage since they're doing issue number 1, because most people will just want issue number 1. But if
Yeah.
issue 2 gets more orders than issue number 1, we know where the problem is.
You are a businessman at heart. That is
Well,
really good thinking.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Don't be shy. Yeah, no, I'm thinking the same way though. I mean, I wonder. I planned on getting because I've got the originals.
Mhm.
I've got the trade that came out around Miss George's death,
Mhm.
and I'm thinking this would be a good reader copy.
Yeah.
Just you're only paying $5.99 for each issue, and you can say it was part of their crossover event. So I'm gonna get them, but we need to pay attention to the sales.
Yeah. And we won't be able to see numbers, but we can see approximations, from what we're going to talk about here in just a second. So, all right. So, Mike, do you have any books that you are particularly looking forward to?
I for some reason I didn't really give. Okay, I know what it is. It's Absolute Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Looking forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one that I think that could be interesting, and since you brought it up and I had it down and you had another suggestion for it, that's something that I think is going to be kind of cool. I'm interested to see what they do with that. I got the Excommunicated series from Visions.
Oh,
It was,
right,
Vault
yeah.
Visions, I guess. If they can be kind of respectful with that, I, I really don't know what to think about that gun punch either from Rocket Ship. So, but
Oh, right, yeah.
So I mean, there's a few things in this catalog. It's nice to have a catalog where I felt like there was a lot of things to actually talk about. It's so
Yeah, I thought I had a lot, and you had a lot more,
Yeah.
and I need to get that list from you because
yeah, and then
there's okay. So when you have Marvel and DC
Mhm.
apps, it's you can probably restrain yourself from buying everything physical.
Yes.
I do that to a degree,
Mhm.
but then the stuff that's independent, it's more of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Then I'm
And
like,
you're not,
well,
and when you're paying the same price digital as you would do physical, it's like you
Yeah.
might as well get it physical, So 100%, I agree with that. So,
yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
So you got anything you want to call out as an investment pick?
I wish I did. I mean, I don't even, without any kind of research or looking up, Of the Earth feels like a TV thing just because maybe it just feels like a Landman type story, and I think that appeals to people post Yellowstone, post all that Western theme stuff on TV. I can almost see that being developed, but it's just a guess.
Yeah. Okay. I tell you what, it's hard for me to just limit it down to 3.
Oh, wow.
Or even like 1. I think there's a lot of books this month that could be worth picking up. So I'm just going to kind of rapid fire through them and why. So you had that Warbird Zero from Bad
Yeah.
Idea. I think with that cheap entry price, that's going to get a lot of coverage. And it's been a long time since we had Firefox. So, we could have something comparable, coming out of that sometime here in the near future.
Yeah.
Then, of course, okay, so like, if destruction be our lot, the whole idea of, with AI now, that's the rage, and we're going to start getting more and more stories about AI and robots. So, the post-human
That's
world.
a good one. Yes,
The
yes.
post-human
That's
world.
another one. What was that called again?
That was If Destruction Be Our Lot. That was from Image.
Yes. That's. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, based on a lot of current world events, Odin 1 seems a little bit too relevant, right, to what's going on in
Yeah.
the world.
Right.
So, and James Tynion has had a lot of has had some things that have been optioned, like Exquisite Corpses.
Yeah.
That's been optioned. So Odin 1, you already mentioned Of the Earth. Some other ones. This is more of a stretch, and I think this is just me being like putting the cybersecurity thing into it. But that Kill Switch 1, just because of the the title, if for no other reason,
Yeah.
definitely would be something to think about picking up. So, there's a few good ones in there that would be worth picking up as number 1. So, and even one more, that Excommunicated. If people are looking for the next Good Omens, a darker version of Omens, or something comparable to that TV series Evil that was on for a while, that's probably a pretty good fit for that. So, again, several things in here that could potentially see see some value if they just get the right promotion and they end up being good stories. So
Right. Yeah.
all right, so let's one of the things we've started doing here in our last few previews is taking a look at some of the market numbers. So this is all coming from ICV2.com, and we're looking at the sales numbers. This is basically through February 2nd of 2026. So this is kind of the previous months. We're a month behind by the time the next one's not out until a few days after we record. So we can't really get to these any sooner. But as we have been seeing, DC has been dominating the sales. So once again, the number one title isn't Absolute, but it's not the Absolute Batman by itself. It's Absolute Batman Arkham or Arkham Special, a one-shot, with Absolute Batman issue 16 being the number 2 seller, and Batman number 5 being number 3. And it's kind of crazy to think that back in the 80s, this was almost canceled.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. So, but then you have like the first Marvel book isn't until 5, and then 10. You got Ultimate Endgame, which again is not the main universe; it's the Ultimate Universe. So the only at the top, I guess in the top 5, you got Batman number 5 and KO, which are part of the DC proper universe. Ultimate Endgame. So then the first Marvel book is 10. That's in their proper universe. That's just Amazing Spider-Man, which is like that evergreen title,
Yeah, and it's number 10.
And it's number 10.
Yeah.
And then Transformers, issue number 28 from Image, beats out before the next Marvel book. Now, Marvel dominates the back end of the 20 because they have everything from 13 to 20 is a Marvel title. So they get almost half of the top 20, but they have the half that you don't want. DC has the half that you do want, right?
Yeah, but it's also, to me, that kind of plays into my thought that maybe this is Marvel's going to maintain a lot of market dominance by sheer momentum and character recognition, and I mean, in just habit, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't know that. I think a lot of people look at Marvel Zombies, that little term, as being derogatory, but I think part of it's like it was just we didn't even have the term FOMO back then, but it was like, oh, well, everybody's got to get it because everybody's getting it, So that's what Marvel has. I remember when Jeanette Kahn was like thinking the whole reason for Crisis was to shake up the DC universe because Marvel had been dominating for so long. And that was in the mid '80s.
Yeah.
So, and it stayed that way. Marvel is still a force to be reckoned with. But I am really curious to look into your theory about Penguin Random House being the distributor, maybe having a negative effect.
Yeah, I wonder too, since we've kind of seen the twilight of the success of the big success of the Marvel movies, if that also has played a role in Marvel's
because the TV and movies have not they've declined in I don't know if I want to say quality because they're still good. I'll never forget Dan Brown talking about we live in an age of what is it? What did he say? Embarrassment of riches.
Yes.
When it comes to these comic movies, and
sometimes there's just too many.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And like I said, I finished watching Wonder Man. The ending didn't quite stick for me, but it was really, really good. I will probably watch it again. I rewatch Hawkeye every Christmas break.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite.
That's a good one, yeah. That's a good one, yeah.
So it's not. I don't feel like it's a lack of quality on the Marvel side. I think there is a little bit of burnout on some of the stuff, and some of the movies have just been they've just been sort of ho hum. Is unfortunate. So maybe that's just affecting Marvel as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. So anything that surprises you on this list? I do want to call out at number 40. Well, let's see, number 49. Which is an IDW book, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. This is another one of those books that has got optioned, and the price of that book has shot up. So it's kind of in that category with Dork and White Sky. But I guess they ordered more copies of it than what they did of the other titles because it did crack the top 50.
Well, the thing about this, what it makes me think of is the character in this series is one of the outside the DC universe characters that's in KO. The KO special that I forgot what it was called, but it's got all these. It's got Vampirella. It's got the Mortal Kombat guy. It's got all
Oh.
these. Yeah, and that Beneath the Trees character. It's like a little teddy bear that's killer. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I need to read this. I need to see this somewhere because it's I want to, and I haven't even read that KO special yet. I've got it, but yeah. So there's I don't know if there's anything really surprising me here. I know it, I mean clearly the either the alternate universes like Absolute and Ultimate or the special events are dominating the top 10. Like you said, it was just Batman and Amazing Spider-Man are the only quote unquote normal
Yeah.
regular series that are in the
Hmm.
top 10.
So I guess we
And
understand why
yeah.
they're not wanting to produce, as many stories, but outside of those special universes. But gosh, I just, I feel like then it's always trying to find the new thing instead of just like getting in and telling some good stories.
Yeah. Well, I'm very much a I like a place for everything and everything in its place. I
Hmm.
didn't like I loved Crisis as a story,
Hmm.
but I didn't like the end result where they were all just jumbled together. It didn't
Hmm.
make if you have everybody on one Earth, there was nothing special about the Freedom Fighters.
Yeah.
The Freedom Fighters were in a world, an Earth where the
Hmm.
Nazis won World War II.
Yeah.
You can't replicate that on in
On
Earth
one
Prime
with
or on
one
Earth One, yeah,
universe. Yeah.
or one, yeah, right. But yeah, so man, I could talk
Oh.
about that a lot, and I will pretty soon.
Okay. All right. So, well, Mike, do we know what's coming up on the next episode of the Campus Comics Cast?
Well, I do, and I think you do
I
too.
do
But we're
too.
getting ready to tell the listeners.
Okay.
It is our first five of Grendel, and that's a Matt Wagner character. I don't know the first thing about Grendel,
Mhm.
and I look forward to that. And then also we're going to cover the new Vertigo titles that have come out already. Bleeding Hearts #1 by Dennis Camp and Stepan Marian. End of Life #1 by Kyle Starks and Steve Pugh, and Peril of the Brutal Dark #1 by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips.
And Mike, if somebody wanted to reach out to you besides podcasts at birdcomics.com, how might they do that?
Well, I guess you could email me at mike@comicshoproadshow.com, or you can put down a comment on the Campus Comics Cast Facebook page. And I'm out there on uh, Blue Sky as well, but I am the worst at social media, and I think that might be a good thing because I'm not, I'm not so absorbed into it that if you send me a message or I have my notifications set to where if you comment or send me a message on Blue Sky, I will know about it. So
Good.
please feel free.
All right. And I'm Scott Reed. You can find me at burgcomics.com, burgcomics.com, where there are links to my social media pages and eBay store. We'll be back with our next first five.
Now, Scott, can we pause so I can take a bio break? Yes, and we can edit that out. Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't know how you want to do that, but okay, I'm gonna do the same. So, all right.